And welcome to a brand new episode of Hashtag The Road. We are here on the world's largest Monopoly board.
My name is Milo Beasley. With 20 plus years in the professional wrestling industry, combined with my love for traveling, I've seen some pretty cool things over the years. Now I bring you along in these travels, as I never know where I'll end up or what I'll see or do along the way. With more than 4 million miles of roadways in the United States alone, we have a lot of ground to cover. So join me, if you will, on Hashtag The Road.
We're here in San Jose, California. Monopoly in the Park. The world's largest and biggest at the same time. The world's biggest Monopoly board, at least according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Monopoly here. Monopoly in the Park. Guinness Book of World Records for largest permanent Monopoly board, dedicated here July 26, 2002. Look at this thing. The world's largest Monopoly board, permanent Monopoly board. Here we start here at Go. We have everything here. Take a chance. We have community chest. Go to jail. So, why? What does this have to do with it? Are we just going to talk about Monopoly? Yes, we actually are going to talk about Monopoly, but not necessarily this board. What we're going to talk about is how Monopoly helped save POWs from World War II. Early in the 1940s, British and other Allied troops were captured in Germany and held as POWs, prisoners of war. And then, of course, there was the plan by the British government to, help them escape, right? Enter Christopher Clayton Hutton, who was a service member himself, but also a fan of Harry Houdini. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to talk about here. So, Christopher Hutton, a fan of Harry Houdini, an escape artist, of course, and a former soldier, was hired by the British government to attempt to find a way to get our prisoners out of jail. So how did Christopher Hutton get them out of jail? Well, they tried other things, like putting maps in clothes and sewing tiny compasses into buttons on clothes, and putting knives into shoes that they sent the soldiers. Because here's the thing, the Geneva Convention, or Gen Con as we call it here, Gen Con, the Geneva Convention, different type of convention than the one I'm here in San Jose. Geneva Convention, sorry I get sidetracked. Geneva Convention allowed charities and humanitarian efforts for our prisoners of war. So they were able to send things, and of course they tried sending things, and the Germans caught on and started confiscating some of these items, the clothing, the shoes with the knives in them. I mean, they were trying everything to get their prisoners out. But then Charles Hutton had an idea. He said, what about games? So under some fake charity names, fake humanitarian aid names, they started sending games like Monopoly, just like Rudolph. They started sending games like Monopoly to the British POWs held in these German camps. But they just weren't any Monopoly boards. These Monopoly boards had secret compartments underneath the board. But here's the thing about these special boards. They had to make sure that the fake boards weighed exactly the same as the real boards. So they doctored up the real boards a little bit so that way they could fool the German guards. Now, what exactly were they putting inside of these fake Monopoly boards? That's a great question, and I'm I should just answer. So they were putting silk maps, compasses, files, razors, money, actual currency and money from all over the region. So not just German money, but of course, a lot of German money for, you know, those bribes. But I said silk, yes, silk maps. Why silk maps? Well, silk maps made way less noise than paper maps. So as they were passing inspection, they wouldn't be found. And these fake boards, they had compartments underneath that you could gently lift up the top of the game, and there's where everything would hide underneath. But how would the troops know, how would the POWs know what was a real Monopoly board and which ones were the good Monopoly boards while sitting there in those prison camps? Well, they would put hints on the board. For instance, free parking. Free parking. If there was a red dot here in the corner of free parking, the troops knew there, and as well as various other spots on the board. But free parking, if there was a red dot here in free parking, the POWs, the troops, knew that meant that there was a map for France and Germany. Other dots, other stop signs, as they were on the board, also gave them maps for Norway, Sweden, Italy, again, places that they would be able to run to freedom. And this worked. The guards, so the guards, they were like, well, we'll let them play these games, because if they're playing these games, they won't be preoccupied with escaping the prison. Ironically, playing the games is what helped them escape the prison. And hundreds of these troops were able to escape these German POW camps because of rich Uncle Pennybags, because of Monopoly. So the next time you land on luxury tax, just remember, $75 is a small price to pay for freedom. And that's what I'm gonna say in my Webby Awards speech. Thanks for watching this episode of Hashtag The Road. We're coming to you live from San Jose, the world's largest Monopoly board. Thanks for watching. Do all the cool things. Tell your friends you know that Monopoly helped win the war. That's all I got. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. And let's play.